What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Walking Dead video. So if you're new to the channel, a like and a subscribe is super appreciated if you enjoyed this video. But Walking Dead is back after arguably a pretty lackluster season 7. Well, in all fairness, the march to war in the comic books wasn't really the most exciting of issues. But we did have Negan, who is clearly the most entertaining villain so far for Rick and his troop of merry, upset, and very tired zombie killers. But Negan on the show, however, has been an absolute joy as well, albeit criminally underused, and it really does. The show has a problem of falling into kind of navel-gazing problems where they just look insular, and we have random characters go on missions for a whole episode, and really nothing ever really comes of it. They get in some trouble and that's it. But here, all-out war has come. War has come, and really I am shocked here that what is going on is so action-packed. Oh, well, the problem is, last season we had an action-packed opener, and we do have action-packed openers, but I'm really hoping the show carries on the momentum that they have presented this episode, this season so far, because really it is a lot of fun, and really we've seen a different version of Rick, someone who has now realised that, well, there are some necessary evils. And he didn't even give Negan the chance when he was counting to 10. He just counted to 7, and that was it. So we're seeing a very, very angry Rick, one who is seemingly battling his wrath and his mercy, as he said in his speech there. But the problem with this show is the fact that I expect them probably just to carry on doing episodes where they just go off and we focus on really kind of naff characters. And the problem is, with this show, a hell of a lot of the characters are, unfortunately, very forgettable. And a lot of them are just fall into the category of, well, who cares when they die? We had the lady who was looking after the pantry / armory last season. And, well, did we care when she died? No. Was it a surprise? No, not really. We do have a core group of characters which the show doesn't seem to focus on. We have got Maggie, Michonne, Daryl, Rick, Carl, and really, I would say Eugene as well would be one of those, but he is now different to this comics. He's on a different side of the wall, and it doesn't look like he is simply pretending like he was in the comics. He is simply here just wanting to see what life is like on the other side, which, well, at the moment, he's really picked the wrong side. But the all-out war is and was a fantastic story. And it ends with, well, not a huge jump, but like a couple of years, a bit of a time jump forward, which was a bit jarring when I was watching it. But we have got that seemingly in this show, and we have now Old Man Rick, as the internet has dubbed it, as he is living seemingly the idyllic life with Michonne, Judith, and Carl. And he's living that life, this life which we saw in the comics, is what happens after all-out war. And after all-out war, we get a nice idyllic farm, a lovely, lovely colony that's expansive, and, well, they fall into trouble when they come into contact with the Whisperers, which, boy, if you think Negan's bad, there's going to be some real deaths. And I'm talking mega deaths, because in All Out War there really wasn't that many major deaths. The major death started off with Glenn, and later on we don't really get too many deaths, to be honest. We have, well, not that many. And Holly was one big one who decided to drive the truck into the compound, but we never really got to see. I'm not sure if we saw who drove that truck in there. I wasn't sure if it was the pastor or not. But, well, he is the one who has taken a place inside the compound, and he is the one who has now been captured by Negan. And what's quite funny is that this panel where the scene where they're actually taken or surrounded reminds me of a later story with the Whisperers and Rick when Negan is with him. But I did like this episode purely for the fact that stuff happened. And the problem with Walking Dead, it can get into very kind of season 4 Game of Thrones, where nothing actually happens, and you watch the episode and you think, well, why the hell did I actually watch that? What purpose did that? Where did this send a story? I mean, it was things like where we saw the kind of lake fishing group of all women, and we never really got to see much of that. Nothing much came of it, and it was a bit pointless, and those characters go off. But here we have the war to focus on, and I don't think we're going to see a group of characters literally just go into the woods on a supply mission, and that's really the whole episode. So I think here we're going to get a lot more excitement, a lot more action, because this is all out war. This isn't the march to war. This is it now. This is Negan versus Rick, and it is a war for survival. And I'm excited to see where this goes. Part of me was thinking, well, you know what? They had a chance to kill Negan. He had a perfect shot on Negan and his lieutenants, but he didn't take it. He just literally shot above him, which I think was really, really weird. But we know what happens later on in the comics, don't we? With Negan, I'm not going to spoil that for you there. I find it weird that he didn't shoot him, and it just didn't really seem fitting with the story that we had. And we've also got a brand new kind of location. We have a sort of science facility, which is seemingly an important territory marker in this war. So I'm not really sure what's happening with that, but I understand that we'll probably, hopefully, learn more of what that is as time goes by. But I'm looking forward to see where this season goes, and it's gripped me already. I've read every comic, I have watched every single episode of this show, and I have to say that sometimes the comics, I just think that why have they just carried on this show if they're going to change it so much? I think they should have saved the death of Abraham for when it was in the comics as well. I don't think they made a good idea. I don't think it was a good idea killing both him and Glenn at the same time. But that was last season. This is this season. And I love the way that that was edited and was interspersed with the speech. And we had Daryl, Carol, and everyone working on getting this zombie herd to where it needs to be. And they really have played Negan at his own game, which was pretty funny. And it's nice to see Negan finally on the back foot here. I mean, we've had a season of Negan. We haven't really seen him at a loss whatsoever. He's always been at the jugular of every group that's in the show that isn't his saviours. And it's quite cool to see this and see him visibly angry. And I hope we see more of Jeffrey D. Morgan, because he is the best thing in this show right now, in my opinion. He is absolutely fantastic. And this really will be Rick's salvation, and he can finally sit pretty once this war is over and sit down and think, it's done. It's done. We have this community. But part of me is thinking that this community may not actually be what we expect it to be, because it does exist in the comics. It's where it goes next, but there's that weird dreamy filter around it, and I can't help but think that we will get this, but the people sitting at the tables and the people there might not be there that are in his dream. I think there may be big deaths coming, and really it's going to be happening. This farm will happen, this colony, but it won't be like we've seen it in the dream, because he's in a very dreamy filter. Maybe this is him dreaming him further down the line than what he really expects at the moment. So overall, it was a good episode, a great return, a really, really important return, and it was important that they had a lot of action, and I think they need to continue this pace onwards, otherwise it won't really be the war that we really wanted or expected. It needs to be real action-packed non-stop, and hopefully next season we lead to Alpha and the Whisperers, which is something I really want them to do next. But we've got to get the war out of the way first, and I can't help but think that maybe Eugene will actually switch sides. We've got Gregory as well, who is a major douchebag, a captain douchebag. I don't know why he's expecting or thinking that he can actually survive if he gets back to the hilltop to be honest. He's actually going to be hung, drawn and quartered the minute he gets there. But that is it for this video. Please do drop a like. Please do subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.